All right, guys, welcome to the final part of the Deep and the final close reading that I'm going to be doing for this chunk with you together. Today, we're going to be looking at page 446, lines 511 through 515. It's a really short little chunk. Um, Obviously, a lot has happened since we have close read something together before. Tom's mother has died, and she did her best. Oh man, how heartbreaking was that death, right? She's just like, don't get worked up. It's okay, trying her best to make it as calming as possible for him. Oh, heartbreaking. And man, the exciting moment when he sees Ruby in the pregnancy ward or the maternity ward, and he even pushes her baby, and he writes those adorable letters, doing his best, even though he doesn't have very much education. And he's brought to this moment where he is spending some time at an aquarium with Ruby and her daughter. Right off the bat, it is a little ironic that they're at an aquarium because Ruby's whole thing, right, was getting out into the world, exploring the world, the real ocean. When she was young, she put her life in the hands of Mr. Faints-a-Lot so that she could pretend to scuba dive in the marsh near their house. And yet here they are. She has a baby, and they're at an aquarium looking at animals together that are caged, locked up, uh, confined, as opposed to animals free. Um, when they meet. I'm going to actually start a little bit earlier than 5:10 here. I'm going to start on line like 5:07 or so, and I'm going to read that first, and then we're going to talk about it. They start down the path between the rows of benches and the shining trees. Occasionally, she takes his arm to steady him, though her touch only disorients him more. That line really cues the reader into that he is not doing well. He is we've seen that time goes on, he gets faints more and more and more. And if she is constantly reaching over to help steady him, he must be in a pretty bad way. Um, and it's so revealing about Tom that uh, even even this light touch disorients him and unsteadies him because of the feelings that he has for Ruby, and how much he wants to be with her. Um, as an aside, all of the times that it talks about his blood pumping and and he's getting too excited, he has to think of Blue and calm down. It makes me think of the first Hulk movie with Edward Norton. I don't know if a lot of people like that movie. I like that movie a lot, but he has a heart rate watch and he's like constantly, oh, gotta calm down, gotta calm down. It made me think of that. That's not necessarily a relevant connection, but it's a thing I thought of. Okay, so he says, I thought maybe you were far away. He says, I thought maybe you went to sea. Ruby doesn't say anything. She parks the buggy and lifts the baby to her chest. He's wrapped in a blue afghan, and then they're through the turnstile. The aquarium is dim and damp and lined on both sides with glass-fronted tanks. She doesn't answer. Um, she doesn't answer him. Why? Why might she not answer him? You know, maybe she is upset, embarrassed, sad that she has not achieved the dreams that she wanted for herself in her youth. Um, that doesn't mean ultimate regret, but Tom doesn't really know her. He doesn't know who she is, who she became, what life changed her into. She also experienced the Great Depression as he did, and that can have some vast changes. So, that lack of ability to do her dream doesn't necessarily say anything bad about Ruby. I think more than anything, it just kind of shows that Tom has no idea how to talk to her and relate to her, and that's a pretty pretty intense question to ask somebody who just had a baby a few weeks ago and is a survivor of the Great Depression, as you are. I also just think it's significant that the baby is wrapped in a blue afghan. You know, colors have mattered a lot throughout this story, and you have the whole spectrum, right? So you have warm colors, red, yellow. Red, obviously, Ruby's hair defined, and she's full of life. You've got yellow flame of light within Tom, described earlier, and blue is the color that he focuses on to calm down. And the baby is wrapped in blue, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that the baby is a calming presence for her, or if it's supposed to calm the baby. Um, Maybe showing how babies can calm your life down, and well, not calm your life down. Rosie certainly hasn't done that, but I guess I mean stop you from taking huge risks in some ways, right? Ruby can't go out to sea anymore because she has this tiny being in her life that she has to care for, and so she can't, you know, she probably wouldn't give a pump to Tom to help her scuba dive in the marsh near her house. Is what I mean. Okay, hopefully you're enjoying the story. We're almost done here, and yeah, finish it up. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you understand, and I will see you guys later. See ya. Bye. Later. Bye. Bye.